Rev up your engines! Today I'm going to talk about modern car rental companies and why you should probably never use them. Now, this company is called Turo Car Rental. It's one of those modern jobs where you are renting a car that somebody else owns. You become a member of Turo, it doesn't cost anything, then you're allowed to rent cars within the system. I just had an experience with it that left me with a really bad taste in my mouth. I was trying to be a good Samaritan for a really nice charity in Chicago. They were having ticket sales to give away a Tesla. You'd buy tickets, and they said they were going to have 9,999 tickets they were going to sell, and the winner got a new Tesla Model X. Well, they made the mistake of attempting to get me a Tesla to make the video using that company, Turo. T-U-R-O. I was supposed to get the car right now, 10 a.m. in the morning as I'm filming, and the car didn't show up. I called up the charity guys and said, "What's the story with this clown and his Tesla?" To which they responded to me, "Well, Scotty, he canceled on you." Well, did he tell me? No, he didn't tell me. And I have been talking to him Sunday night, 12 hours ago, when he called me late at night and wanted more money for delivering the car to me. As you can see here, I was going to have the car for one day, and it was bad enough that it was $549.94 to rent the car and be able to drive it 150 miles. But then the guy who was renting the car, who owned it, he sent an email and said, well, he needs $300 to deliver it here. Now, Nashville's only 45 minutes away. It's not that big of a deal, but he wanted an additional $300. Well, the charity wanted me to make this video so they could sell tickets to the raffle, so they okayed it, right? Saturday, I get another email. And this time he says, I need another $100 to deliver it because you're far away. Now, you already knew I was in Clarksville, which isn't that far from Nashville. He already knew that. But now he wanted to bump it up another $100. Instead of it being $549.94, it was not going to be $949 for one day. But then magically, the day it's supposed to show, now it was 10 minutes ago because I've been filming, the guy canceled it, didn't tell me he was canceling it. And the funny thing was, he knew who I was. He just tried to squeeze this poor charity for more and more money. Well, now I don't have a Tesla. I can certainly give you a very good warning. Why not to use a company like Turo to rent cars? They can leave you stranded. You're dealing with private people who own cars. It was even funnier that last night, Sunday, the guy is talking to me on the phone, and he says, oh, you know, it's kind of a hassle for me to bring it to you. Could you meet me halfway between Nashville and Clarksville? And I'm like, no, buddy, I'm filming stuff here. I got it all set up. I can't drive him halfway and meet you. What kind of a business is this? Well, obviously, it was no real business at all. You got private individuals. You got to deal with their ridiculous idiosyncrasies when you're renting a car. Maybe they'll show up. Maybe they won't. Who knows? And the guy himself who was supposed to rent me the car, he was whining to me on the phone. He said, well, Turo takes too much of the cut. And I researched it. And they take anywhere between 10 and 40% of the rental income. So yeah, they're making a lot of money. And realize that a company like Turo, they don't own any cars at all. They're just renting other people's cars. Their overhead is almost nil. They claim that in 2020 they had 450,000 vehicles listed and over 14 million members. But I kind of doubt that because I read another source that said 2021 they had 250,000 cars for rent worldwide. Who knows who to believe? But be that as it may, they don't own any cars. They're just renting you other people's cars, and they're taking a 10 to 40% cut. Imagine people come and go like the wind. If you're losing that kind of money, why would you rent it out to somebody else? All the danger of renting your car to somebody, and they're taking up to 40% of the profit. And interestingly enough, they can't do business in New York State. New York State has a deal about cars have to be properly insured if you're driving them. And a real problem with insurance and who's liable for what. You cannot rent Turo in New York State. And they say that they're lower than other places. Hey, considering that, to rent a Model X, including the guy's $400 delivery, it was going to cost $949 for one day. I had a Tesla that I was doing a shoot for a different charity when I was in Rhode Island. And it was less than $200 a day, and they didn't charge anything to deliver to me. And it came all the way from Boston to Rhode Island, which is a lot further than here to Nashville. Something doesn't add up. The rates seem to be really high to me. Now, of course, it probably had something to do with Tesla itself. You're renting someone else's Tesla. The people that buy Teslas are often a different breed. They think they're special. The guy on the phone was bragging to me what a great businessman he was, and then he doesn't even show up. Doesn't even send me a text or an email that says, hey, I'm not bringing the car. So I'm sitting here at 10 o'clock waiting, and he never shows up, and a poor charity says, oh, well, he canceled on you. I said, well, he didn't tell me. That's the type of people you're going to be dealing with. If you're renting a car through a company that takes 10 to 40% of the profit, and somebody else owns the car and does all the work. And of course, I couldn't help but laugh when the guy says, well, you're kind of far. Can you meet us halfway between Nashville and Clarksville? I'm like, buddy, are you running a business here? He says, oh, I have regular businesses. I'm just doing this on the side. Yeah. Ha! Meanwhile, myself and the Chicago charity are left in the lurch with no Tesla to film a video for, even though this nice company, Electron, sent me a mount, a whole charger for a Tesla, the whole 9 yards. I do have to say, these things aren't that hard to hook up. You just need a 220-volt receptacle. But now, thanks to the horrible car service company, Turo, I don't get to try that out. I don't get to make a video for the nice charity showing you why not to use a company like Turo. Now, sure, I don't make advertisements for a living, but I certainly make anti-advertisements when I see something this shoddy, this poorly organized, that sign an agreement and then say, we need $300 more. And then a few days later, we need another $100 more. We want $400 to deliver your car. It almost doubled the rental right there. I did contact the company, and they just said, oh, we're sorry you had problems. And that was pretty much it. They didn't come up with any solutions. Well, if you really want to have a nice day, take my advice. Don't rent anything from Turo. The company's a joke. The people that rent the cars out for them are jokes. Especially when you consider they didn't show up with the car, they canceled it themselves, they didn't tell me they'd cancel it, so they lost their money. It's just kind of absurd. I even told the guy on the phone, I'm just making a video of it, I'm not driving it all over the place. And he just decided, I guess it was too much bother. He said maybe his son could bring it, but his son was too busy. Do you want to do business with people like that? I certainly don't want to. There's got to be very good reasons New York State does not allow Turo to do business there. Theirs had to do with insurance and the problem of are you properly insured? And if you remember a while back, a guy rented a Tesla, then his son got it when he wasn't supposed to and smashed it up and caused all kinds of damage. And the insurance company said, we're not going to pay for that. That guy was not allowed to drive the car. He's not a licensed driver signed up for that car. The father was, not the teenage son. Do you really want to deal with companies like this? Well, I, for one, will never deal with Turo again. It's just unbelievable how poorly organized the thing is. They know that they're sending this expensive car to a famous car guy who's going to make a video on it for a charity in Chicago to benefit poor people, and they don't even show up. These people have no ethics at all. None. And of course, no business ethics. Of course, guy says he's going to show up, and he doesn't even show up, doesn't even send me a text or an email that says, hey, I'm not showing up. You're dealing with a bunch of crazy people. They might tell you that's insured, don't worry, and then you find out it isn't. My advice, stay away from these kinds of companies. Don't deal with them. Don't get yourself in hot water. What if something does happen and you find out, gee, they didn't have insurance, regardless of what they told you? Just stay away from these guys. It's a stupid idea, a poorly run company with clowns renting cars out that, oh, we'll meet you halfway. Oh, I need another $100. It's like dealing with the Three Stooges. But after all, it's your money and your choice. You can do whatever you want. Me, I'm staying the heck away from that company. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Adair Sorum says, I would rather swim with alligators than car shop at dealers. Help. Yeah, you and me too. I never bought a car at a dealer. They're just sales guys. They're out to make money. It's just the way that the world goes these days, and they always charge too much because they have too much of an overhead. There's nothing they can do. Most car lots have, especially if it's a dealer, they have millions of dollars every year overhead. They got to make millions before they make a profit, so of course they're going to charge you a lot. Look at Craigslist. Look at Facebook Marketplace. A lot of places you can buy cars. Ask your friends. Say, hey, I'm looking for a good car. Oh, well, Grandpa over here just died. Or, Joey just joined the Army. We're selling this car. There's lots of reasons for good cars to be sold, but you'll never get a deal at a dealership. Unless you get a car that has a problem that they didn't even bother trying to figure out. Maybe it's a simple problem like, it only needs a water pump. And so they'll sell it to you cheap. That you could get something like that. But a good running car, you'll never get a deal at a dealership. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.